postpartum video. In this video, I'm going to talk about your body, your mind, and your soul healing for the postpartum, okay? Which means the time after you give birth. Okay, let's talk about your body first. Everything that we need to focus on in the body to heal for the postpartum. The first one is physical healing. You want your body to recover and you want your body to have strength, okay? Very important because you're gonna lose a lot of everything, your strength, your energy, your liquids, your blood, everything, okay? So number one, rest and gentle movement. Prioritize rest, especially the first 40 days. Okay, so our great grandmothers and our mothers, even our mothers, still understand the importance of 40 days. La cuarentena is called in Spanish. La cuarentena is very important because in those 40 days, your body it's exactly what it needs, and maybe a little more time depending on your body and who you are and your consequences. But exactly 40 days is what the uterus needs to go from this, where am I? Okay, to go from this to this, which is the size of the uterus before you were pregnant, okay? So your uterus needs that, and also you need that because it's the most open that you've been in your whole life. Remember this picture where I show you that when we give birth, this is how open you are. You're open on the bottom where the baby comes out, and you're open on the top in your crown chakra. And that's where all the energy is coming out of. It goes through you and pushes the baby, okay? So because you're that open, you need time to heal, okay? And because you're that open, it makes you very sensitive to emotions, energy, people's thoughts, people's I don't know, the way they put like stress on you or whatever, all of that stuff. You're very able to see and feel and hear all those things, okay? So la cuarentena, very important. Now, most women from modern day do not hold true to this cuarentena. And what happens is that when we do not give ourselves the rest that we need, at least for those 40 days, we do not heal properly. Our uterus doesn't heal properly. Our organs don't go back to their proper way that they need to be in the body properly. Your emotions don't come back properly, okay? Because there's a lot of fluctuation and you're so open and you're so able to receive everything. That's really tricky. So la cuarentena is very important. You want to gently stretch your body and do pelvic floor tilts, helping to realign your body. A lot of the exercises that I put in the birth and labor video with the ball and on the floor, you can try those, but I would not recommend you to do any of those until week 2 or week 3, probably week 3, because you want to give as much rest as you can to your body and to your pelvic floor and to your uterus so that it can come back to homeostasis, okay? To the size before being pregnant. Walking barefoot to help ground your energy is beautiful. Not necessarily outside, but just walking barefoot at home, right? Because it kind of puts you in contact with the floor and makes you more present. And you know that saying, barefoot and pregnant? Yeah. Actually, it's a real thing. You want to be barefoot and pregnant because barefoot pregnancy and barefoot postpartum helps you to ground into the earth, okay? And it helps to replenish your energies. All right, number 2 is nourishing foods and hydration. During your postpartum, you want nourishing, high protein, high iron, high everything food, okay? Because when you're pregnant and in labor, you lose a lot of blood, you lose a lot of fluids, you lose electrolytes, you lose salt, you lose everything, okay? And your iron levels may go down, which is normal. Your hematocrit level in your blood may go down, which is normal. Your hemoglobin may go down, which is normal. It all fluctuates just to help the body be able to birth your baby, okay? So we want warm, easily digestible foods. You want something that's warm and moist, something like a sopa, a sancocho, Asopao, miso soup, very good, okay? Stews, any stews with red beef in it, like to help you get your iron levels and your hemoglobin back up. Herbal teas like nettles, what else? Chamomile, nettles, lavender. You want to do a lot of those. Red raspberry to help with your uterus. Um, and then we come into honey. Honey is going to help you regulate your blood sugar. For the last birth that we had with Loriani, the home birth, about an hour in after the postpartum, she started to feel a little dizzy, so we gave her some honey sticks, and the honey sticks helped to elevate her blood sugar. That is normal. That's not normal. It's normal because your body's trying to, come back to homeostasis, and a lot of things are going to go up, and a lot of things are going to go down, and then come back up. So we have to let the body do what it does best, okay, to get back to homeostasis. So honey sticks to help regulate blood sugar, protein drinks, and electrolyte drinks. Very important. My suggestion to you is to do your research on protein drinks that do not have any kind of toxic chemicals or materials in it. Something more natural, maybe kind of search how you can make your own protein drinks at home and your own electrolyte drink at home. I'm pretty sure YouTube has tons of videos to make electrolyte drinks that are non-toxic and that you can drink after and during your postpartum to replenish your salt levels and your sugar levels and your plasma and your blood. Okay, lots of water. Oh, I also want to mention the postpartum deficiency manual that I gave you. It has a whole list of all the foods that you want to try to intake during your postpartum so that you can replenish your folic acid, your vitamin levels, your iron, your hemoglobin, your hematocrit, all those things. Okay? So look into that manual. After pains. After pains are usually, a lot of women are like, oh, how can I avoid after pains? I don't want to feel them. I don't want to whatever. But actually, it's a good thing. After pains are your uterus still contracting because remember, it was this big. It was this big, the uterus. So now it has to come back into the shape that it had before you were pregnant, which is about this big. Okay? So in order for it to come back to that shape, it has to contract. There has to be contractions. And that's going to be a lot of the cramping that you're going to feel afterwards. Specifically when you are breastfeeding, when the baby latches and starts pulling, you're going to start feeling that cramping up. That means that your uterus is cramping up and it's molding itself back into place. Okay? All right, so that's the after pains. The pain of the uterus going back to normal after birth contractions, okay? So, in order to help you with these after pains, we want you to rest in bed for several days. This is very important. The 40 days are for you to rest in bed, being warm, not cold. You have to be warm. You want to rest in bed with your baby for 40 days. That doesn't mean that you can't get up to go to the bathroom, to go fix yourself a tea or whatever. Yes, but you want to minimize your activity level. In the modern world that we live in, if let's say for example you give birth in the hospital, so you have a natural birth in the hospital, on day 2 they're kicking you out, so now you're exposed to cold weather. You have to get up, you have to walk, you have to dress the baby's exposed to cold weather. And remember that, like the picture that I showed you, you are open on the top. So let me go back a little bit. In this picture, it shows that energy coming out of the top of the woman's head and also the bottom because the baby's coming out. The top of our head, just like a baby, is very soft and malleable. It starts to kind of move when we're giving birth, just like the top of the baby's head. That happens in order to align us with the energy that we need through our crown chakra to come in and come out so that we give birth to our baby. Now, a woman that does not cover her hair or wear a hat or goes to take a shower and washes her hair right away and exposes that area to coldness can have a side effect of a cold, very like fatigue, a lot of tiredness, all those things, because we have to protect our head area. Okay, So that's why when I gave birth to Gabriel, my mother was like, don't take a shower right away. Like, don't wash your hair. You could take a shower, but make sure it's hot water and don't wash your hair. And I didn't listen to her. I was like, whatever. I took a shower head to toe. I was like, I want to clean myself. I want to clean myself from everything that just happened because I didn't know any better. So I did. And I'm not saying specifically that that alone gave me my postpartum depression, but it leads to it. It's these little intricacies, these little things that we don't know about our bodies and about our energetic body that does affect us if we don't really take care of it. We have to be very humble with our bodies. We have to be like, I love you, thank you, like, things like that. Just like we are with our babies. Um, so yeah, so you want to rest. The resting and the emptying your bladder frequently will help to keep the uterus firm and low, and it helps to prevent blood clots and pooling blood. Pooling blood meaning when you give birth, you're naturally going to lose blood. Okay. Remember that you have 50% more blood volume, so you're going to lose blood. A woman that gives birth naturally can lose more than a liter of blood, and that's still normal, not considered a hemorrhage. In a hospital setting, any type of blood, like if they see that it's a lot, they're like, it's hemorrhaging, and they'll give you pharmaceutical drugs to control the bleeding, right? The body does have to bleed, it's a natural process, and it's a natural part of giving birth. Okay. Now there is an amount. There could be an amount that's way too much, and we're like, whoa, that's just a lot. That blood is way too much, and we need to do something to slow it down, or we need to give you medication. Okay. But we don't want to go into our birth that way. It's just I have to tell you everything that I know. All right. So yeah, so that's that. And then breastfeeding will make you feel those cramping contractions also, because like I said, it's pulling the uterus up as the baby is sucking on, and latches on. It's pulling the uterus up, so everything is working together. Okay, that's why breastfeeding is very good for not only you but the baby. Catnip leaves. All right, so catnip is an herb that I grow in the backyard. We can make a brew or a tea to help support you during the menstrual cramps that you're gonna get, which are called after pains, and the cramping contractions of the uterus going back into place. Okay, but catnip also has other uses. The other use of catnip is that it relieves spasms of the uterus, so it helps you with that cramping, right? And it keeps the afterflow moving easily and clot free. We don't want you to develop any clots. We're gonna help you empty your bladder, because emptying the bladder also helps everything flow, the blood and your urine, right? So we want to empty your bladder about an hour or so after birth, to keep everything flowing. I hope that doesn't come off. Okay, so again, keeps afterflow moving easily and clot free, and it relaxes your nervous tension. Remember that when we are giving birth, your nervous system is twined up. It's almost like bracing, because we don't know how it's going to happen. We don't know how it's going to feel. Every birth is like we forget, and we're like trying to get ready for this. So in order to help relax your nervous system, you can have a catnip brew, and that will help with that as well. It acts as a very effective painkiller, which is great for the cramping, and it's normal and it's natural, right? So we don't want any kind of like Tylenol, acetaminophen. We don't want any of those drugs, because remember, anything that you intake will be expressed through your blood, through your breast milk, and then into the baby. Okay. And then we have homeopathy for any kind of pain and cramps. We have Arnica 200, and what we can do there is that every 15 minutes we'll give you one pellet, and then at the end of 5 pellets, we'll see how you're feeling. Okay. And we also have a homeopathy called China 200, and that's for loss of fluids and hemorrhage. If we think you lost a lot of fluids, or if we see that you are hemorrhaging, and it's a real hemorrhage, like it's way too much blood, and you're not feeling well, we will give you the China. But your midwives, because they are licensed, probably carry Pitocin, and that's what is used to help with blood, with hemorrhaging of blood. Okay. All right. Number three is the womb and pelvic floor care. We do something called Bing Kong belly binding, and I love this. This is great because you take 100% organic cotton material and you do like a faja, and we'll belly bind you under your boobs, right? From under your rib cage all the way down into your pubic bone, and we'll bind you and we'll make a faja for you. And these are better than the synthetic fajas that have polyester and all those kinds of, materials. That's not good because remember, the skin is the biggest organ, goes through your skin, and anything that you get will go into your blood, your milk supply. So if we do belly binding, we use organic cotton materials. That's something I can offer you during postpartum. That I will not do until probably week 3 or 4 because I want you to just like, get your body. We don't want to tighten everything up so fast, but it is a good support to let the body know I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to come back to homeostasis. My uterus is contracting and coming back to its normal size. I'm going to support you by binding. Okay. So that's something that I can offer you, and you let me know if you want that to be part of your postpartum package. Pelvic floor exercises for restoring strength. These exercises you can find in the birth and labor video that I made for you. You can copy some of those. I would suggest that you not do any exercises until probably week 3 or 4, depending on how you're feeling, and how much blood you have coming out, because you're going to bleed for a couple of days. Okay, depends. Everybody's different. How many days you're going to bleed after the birth. There's also something called herbal sitz bath. Herbal sitz bath are ancient ancestral technology that the grand midwives used to use when our mother's mother gave birth at home, because everybody did. And we're not too far removed. I mean, it's not like mother. I think it's like 3 mothers and then they were giving birth. And I even know people that are my age whose mother gave birth at home. So it's not that far removed. But anyway, herbal sitz baths are, you take like a vasinilla, right? Like a little toilet pot, or I don't know how you call that in English, but a vasinilla. And in the vasinilla, you put lukewarm to room temperature water, and in that water, well, first of all, you boil the water, and you want to put calendula, chamomile, lavender, and you make like a tea with that. You let it brew, and then once it gets to room temperature, or it's warm enough for you to put, you're gonna put this part of your arm into it, and if it doesn't hurt you or burn you, then it's safe enough for your yoni. Because what you're gonna do then is you're going to put your yoni. So this is the vasinilla with the herbs. You're gonna put your yoni into it, and you kind of sit on it so that the yoni hits the water with the herbs in it. Those herbs will help to restrain your tissues, restore your blood vessels, and heal. Okay, and it does it in a natural way because it's plants. So that's the herbal sitz bath. All right, so now let's talk about tears and lacerations. This is a fear that a lot of women who want to do vaginal birth have to confront. I may tear. You may or may not tear. Everyone's different, okay? And some people tear and don't even know. So let me give you, before I read this, let me give you the example of the birth I just went to with Lorianne. She had a little laceration on the top, and we noticed it because we were checking her after she gave birth. She's in the bed, and we opened her up, and we saw how the blood was coming out, and we looked at the blood, and we're like, yeah, okay, it's normal blood, it's coming. And then we were trying to figure out where the blood was coming from, what was the source of the blood. So we saw that there was a little laceration on the top, and so what we did was we took homeopathy, we took calendula 200 and arnica 200 together. We gave her 1 pellet of each 5 times every 15 minutes. And by the 5th time, when we checked her pad, the blood had slowed down tremendously from the laceration, and it looked really well. So just to mention that the first hour after birth is called the golden hour, and this time should be uninterrupted time with you and the baby, where the baby is on you, skin to skin. where you're breastfeeding and you're getting to know the baby. You're staring at him, you're looking into his eyes, you're touching his little fingers and his toes and his legs and whatever. You're just, yes, you're admiring him, you're taking it all in. The baby is full of adrenaline, and that adrenaline, after an hour, will start to diminish and the baby will fall asleep because he had just been through a very big thing, right? He was just born. And so will you. You will start to fall asleep as well. And that was evident when I was in Loriani's birth, because the environment was so quiet and so controlled and so at peace. She was able to fall asleep with her baby next to her. And of course, we were there to watch and keep an eye on her. So that's the first hour. The first 5 hours altogether after birth are the most important. Those are the most important because we are watching to see how your body comes back to homeostasis, how everything fluctuates, the blood, how much blood, whether or not you're going to urinate, and how often you need to drink fluids. We need to see if your blood sugar levels feel a little off, if you get a little dizzy, which is all normal, okay? Um, but the first 5 hours, we're like hawks, just watching you. Even if you're resting, we're just there, holding space, holding the environment, everything very quiet, because you need to start replenishing your energy and you may fall asleep, okay, with the baby. So that's the first 5 hours after birth. Okay, so for tears and lacerations, if you do not, for any whatever, if you prefer not to use homeopathy and you do want to use like something more traditional, more indigenous, manuka honey is perfect. Manuka honey is antispasmodic, antiviral, antifungal, anti-inflammatory. It's all the antis, and it helps to heal and disinfect. What you do is, if this is your, let's say this is the laceration that happened, right? This is your yoni, these are your lips, these are your yoni, and the laceration is here. We will put the honey right on the laceration and we will leave it be. And what it will do is that it will start to cinch everything together and start to heal, right? As and start to disinfect, so that there will be no infection. Now some people take this a step further. They put the manuka honey, and on top of the honey they put a sheet of like a nori seaweed sheet, and that would be the band-aid that holds everything together, which is great because it has salt. It's salty. And it's from the sea. So now you're having a naturally made band-aid to hold with the manuka honey up against the lips or the vulva, wherever it is that the laceration is. And you hold that together and it'll begin to heal. You do reapply after a while because you'll see how the skin sucks in the manuka honey and it takes it all in. So you want to reapply probably, I would say, every maybe 2 hours. Yeah. All right. We also have calendula salve, and calendula salve is made out of calendulas that I grow here in the backyard. And I do have, and I do make, and I do sell the salve. And that salve is good for any lacerations, any cuts, any scrapes, any bruises. So the same thing, you take the salve, you put it on the laceration, and you leave it be. Okay. You do want to reapply the salve every hour or so, or every 2 hours. Okay. Herbal sitz bath, which we talked about. Witch hazel pads are great. Witch hazel pads offer a cooling kind of sensation, and we'll talk about why we don't want anything cold, like ice packs, like in the hospital. They do offer ice packs to help heal the vulva and all your muscles down there and ligaments. It does feel good because I used that when I gave birth, because I gave birth vaginally twice, even though I had an epidural and Pitocin and all that stuff. But I did give birth vaginally, and the cold packs did feel good. But to my surprise, I have learned that cold does not help you to heal, because what cold does is that it freezes everything where it is, and it will start to heal where it is, instead of heat that will help everything to expand and then come together after it cools down. That's the natural way of healing. And so when we apply warm things, it will help us to heal quicker and better. A woman's body needs everything to be warm, even the healing, okay? So in holistic midwifery, we use um, anything warm to help you heal. Okay, so anyway, going back to the witch hazel pads, if you are interested in using witch hazel pads, I suggest you buy cotton pads that are round, 100% cotton. Then you get your witch hazel. Make sure the witch hazel is alcohol free, organic alcohol free witch hazel. You're going to saturate the alcohol pad with the witch hazel. You're going to then lay the alcohol pad on your pad. You're going to get long 100% cotton pads because you're going to need them for afterbirth. And you're also going to get postpartum diapers to hold everything together. And they also sell those 100% cotton organic. You could get those on Amazon, and you're gonna put all that together. You're gonna pull it up and leave the witch hazel pads to sit under the yoni to help you heal. Okay. Postpartum diapers, we just talked about that. Peri bottle wash. A peri bottle is squeeze bottle that has like a hose on it, and it's specially made for women to wash themselves. This is good for us to use for after postpartum. I suggest you have one. That peri bottle, and in the peri bottle we want to put warm water, nothing cold. We want to put warm water with some soap, or just warm water alone. The soap could be Castile soap, organic Castile soap with no scent. Okay, so look into that. And then for homeopathy, for lacerations and tears, like I said before, we offer Calendula 200 with Arnica 200, 5 doses every 15 minutes. And by the end of the fifth dose, then we check and reassess to see how much blood is coming out and to see how you're feeling. Okay? All right. For your postpartum work is going to be healing touch and body work, postpartum massage, and that helps for circulation, tension release. That will not be done until probably week 3 or 4 after baby's born, depending on how you feel. If some women are like, no, don't touch me, I'm not ready yet, or I'm still whatever, that's fine too. It's whenever you're ready. And once you're ready, we can start doing some postpartum massages. I can teach you how to do your own massage with coconut oil, nice and warm. Remember, everything warm. That yoni steaming. Yoni steaming is amazing. It's an indigenous technology again. This is how the grand midwives used to heal themselves, not only their yoni, but their complete body after giving birth. And yoni steams are usually done after the initial healing process. So I would say week 4, week 5, after postpartum. And if you want to know more about these indigenous traditional ways of healing in the postpartum, I can make you that video. I would love to do that for you. It would be practice for me. And I can put together a list of those things that we do, but yoni steaming is one of them. And what we do is we take a vasinilla and we make a brew again, just like the sitz bath, but this time we want it hot and we want it steamy. You're not gonna put your vulva on it because we don't want you to burn. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the vasinilla with the sitz bath, with the yoni steam, with the calendula, lavender, chamomile, echinacea, whatever it is that we put in there, and we're gonna make sure that the water is warm and that the steam is coming up. And what we do is we either put it in the toilet and hold it so that you can sit on the toilet, or like I said before, I do have a seat that I can show you, and we could use that, and we'll sit you on that. We'll put the vasinilla under so that you could feel the steam in your yoni, and we'll cover everything. We'll cover your feet. We'll make like a little hut, and we'll put your whole body under the steam to steam you from your yoni all the way up to your crown chakra and around everything. Okay. This yoni steam is great. It helps for healing. It helps for emotional release. It's almost like a spiritual cleanse. And it helps to kind of recalibrate the energies in your body to come back to homeostasis. Okay. All right. So a little affirmation here is: my body is wise and I honor its rhythm of healing. These are just I don't know, you don't want to use them, that's fine, but you can put it in your own words, just words of affirmation to yourself and to your body, letting your body know, dude, I know what you're doing. I know that you're healing and I am with you on that. Let's do it together, because if you fuse your mental and your spiritual with your body, the faster you will heal. Okay? All right. So now let's talk about your mind for the postpartum. All right. So mental healing and mindset and identity. Number one is to release all expectations. That's hard. All right. When we give birth, when we do anything in life, especially us women, we're like, oh, this is going to go this way, and then I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do that, and then this, and then that. No, no. Release all the expectations you have, because if we have expectations and they don't go through the way we want them to, we are putting additional stress on ourselves that we do not need, especially after postpartum, because you are very fragile. Okay, so we want to release all expectations. We want to accept that healing is not linear and that every journey is unique. There's some women that are postpartum 7 weeks and they're still healing, and that's okay because that's where they are. And there's not necessarily anything medically wrong. It's just that that's where they are. Because remember, you're not just healing your body, you're healing your mind and your soul. All three of those things are healing together at the same time. In this world, we only focus on a woman healing her body and getting back to where she was. And fuck the emotion, fuck the mind, fuck the soul. It's just the body. If she's good to go, she's good to go, right? But that's not how it works. Okay. Allow yourself to pause and be in the moment. Very important. That is releasing expectations. Be in the moment. This is what it is. This is how it is. This is where I'm at. I'm going to love myself where I'm at right now. Okay? All right. Number two is brain rewiring and rebuilding confidence. Postpartum shifts your brain function, so trust your new intuition. You are not going to be the same that you were before you gave birth to this baby. Every time, every little step in this journey of getting pregnant, being pregnant, giving birth, after the birth, you're changing all the time. Now, what happens in this modern world is that as women, we give birth, we go through all these changes, and the world expects you to be the same before you gave birth. Meaning, go back to work after like 3 weeks. Go back to cleaning the house and bending over and doing all these things after 3 weeks. Go back to doing this after whatever weeks, and you need to go back to doing that. What happens there is that we are not capable of doing the things that we were doing before because we're not the same person. Like, yes, we'll get there eventually, but this is changing you, and we don't make space for that change, right? So we have to honor ourselves and honor that change and make sure that we're not pushing ourselves too early to be doing too much. The body does take a hit when you give birth, and so does your mind and your psyche and your soul, because you're a different person now. And so what we have to do is make space to learn who we are now and how we are now. Okay? So reflect on who you are becoming rather than who you were, right? Being in the present moment, who you are becoming, not who I was before I gave birth to the baby. You have a child that cannot fend for himself, for his needs. And yes, you have a great partner, and that's, yes, thank God, right? Because now you both of you are not the person you were before you gave birth. Yeah, both different. Okay, so make sure you make space in your mind and remind yourself that, yo, we got to be nice to ourselves and not pressure ourselves, because we are different people now in a different situation with different circumstances. All right, and number three is rituals for clarity and presence. This is just a suggestion. You do as you please, whatever works for you. You know yourself best. But to suggest, you can do morning affirmations, you can journal, you can do some slow breathing and meditation to anchor in presence. I'm also working on that in a postpartum care, and the breathing, and I can help women breathe to recalibrate and to bring them into the present moment. Some women go into a lot of depression because they feel overwhelmed, which is totally normal. But how we deal with that it's gonna make you or break you, right? So, luckily you have so many people around you that love you and that are there for you. Please always reach out and always speak your truth with and I'm sure that you'll navigate this wonderfully. But we're here for you. All right, so let's keep moving. All right, so number 4, protect your energy. Protect your energy, protect your energy, protect your energy. Avoid overconsumption of social media and negative shit. Create a peaceful postpartum sanctuary with candles, music, or nature sounds. And if that's not your shit, then whatever is your thing, do it. Anything that creates peaceful sanctuary. Okay? My synagogue, my casa, yes. Peaceful sanctuary with candles, music, nature sounds, whatever it is, whatever that means to you. Peaceful sanctuary. Here, I just want to share that some women do wait to invite people over to their home to see the baby. And it could be a couple of days, it could be a couple of weeks. Everybody's different. I don't know if this is something you want to consider, but you're going to do this how you do it. It's your journey, but I'm just telling you what some women do in order to hold that peaceful space to allow the woman to rest and not feel like she needs to look a certain way or do a certain thing, or the house needs to look a certain way because people are coming, right? So this is totally up to you, and I just wanted to bring that to light. Okay. So another saying here is, I embrace my transformation with grace and patience. Just be patient with yourself. Remind yourself when you do find yourself that you're running out of patience, just close your eyes and breathe. Center yourself into your presence. Make sure you're here. The only thing that's important is the baby's getting its needs. You're getting what you need. You're expressing yourself when you need to. He's expressing himself when he needs to. And everyone is working together so that we have a peaceful environment for the baby and for mom and dad to heal from the birth. Okay? Because birth is not like, oh my god, now we gotta heal this. Not like that. It's a healing because your bodies were open, and even though the mother is the one physically giving birth, energetically both of you are giving birth. He is also energetically. Okay. So all right, so emotional healing, heart, spirit, and connection. All right, so number 1 is honoring the birth experience. Write, voice record your birth story to process emotions. This is called weaving the story. In traditional midwifery, we weave the story. That could be done the day of the birth. That could be done the next day, a week later. I just went back to Lorianne a couple of last week, I think it was last Friday, and we weaved the story. Her husband talked to us. He told us his perspective. She talked to us. The kids talked to us. I spoke to them. My birth partner, Krista, spoke to them, and everybody weaved the story from their perspective. That's beautiful, because that's the communion of family. This is where we see a new family come together and be born, and this is where we hear how they saw it happen, and that's a nice thing. This is a tradition that has been lost, and that we need to come back to, because this is what it's about, right? It's about that. It's about those experiences and our perspectives. So seek birth integration support if needed. Some women do go through a hard time after and do not know how to integrate themselves into this new life that they have, because they put so much pressure on themselves. And some women don't have a good support system around them, so they seek groups and new moms groups and stuff like that, because they're looking for that. Luckily you have a great group around you and a lot of people who love you guys, so whatever you guys need, just ask, and we're here to help and support. Okay, number 2 is emotional release and expression. Allow space for crying, journaling, or creative expression. Allow it. You may want to cry. That's okay. That's okay. Because technically, if you think about it, you have to mourn the Natalie that you were before, and then you also mourning the Natalie that you're becoming, because you're kind of like, I don't know what I'm gonna like, how, and that's okay. And it's not mourning in a bad way. It's just It's normal to go to those emotions and be like, I'm not who I used to be. I don't know what's wrong with me. And pregnancy shows you that because we visit all those states while we're pregnant. And then after birth and postpartum, we also visit those states as well. Okay. Learn to do sound healing if you like that, if that's something that calls your attention. Humming, singing, or listening to soft frequencies. All the things that resonate to you. And I may not have said some of the stuff that you like, these are just suggestions um, for you to do in the postpartum. Okay. All right, so contact and connect and support. Surround yourself with those who uplift you. Consider postpartum circles or sacred gatherings if you feel isolated. Surround yourself with those who uplift you. Surround yourself with people who elevate you. Okay? Yes, a lot of our family members, we don't feel like they elevate us because they're always like, oh, but you should have done this, and why don't you do this, and maybe you should do this. And that all comes from love, right? It all comes from love. But also, we know you have to know your own boundaries and what you want to deal with and what you do not want to deal with in this postpartum phase of your life. Okay. um yeah, support yourself with surround yourself with those that elevate you and those that do not question how you want to do things, because this is your journey. It's your matrescence, it's your motherhood. It's how you want to do it and how you and Olali envision this going. Okay. um, Number 4 is bond with baby and self, skin to skin contact. Baby wearing, I know how to do all the baby wearing techniques. I learned 3 baby wearing techniques. So you let me know. Baby wearing is amazing because our children, when they're born and they're infants, they're so little, they need to feel secure, and that security comes from baby wearing and being attached to mom or dad, and feeling safe because they don't know how to self-regulate yet. And remember, babies regulate because they copy your regulation. They copy dad's regulation. If dad is not regulated, baby's not regulated. If mom is not regulated, baby's not regulated. Okay, because they're feeling into it. Remember, babies are emotional beings. They're all into frequency and vibration. That's it. That's all they can do right now. They can't do more until they get a little older. So if you're emotionally regulated and you're stable, so are they. Okay. Now, on that note, I want to talk about baby soothing and how some people talk about babies crying it out and self soothing. That's bullshit. They cannot do that. They don't know how to. The baby is learning how to do it. And if you let the baby cry, because that's what we were taught, I was told that too. Like, I do. This is how they say, help me. I don't know what's going on. I don't feel good, or I feel lonely, or it's cold, or whatever the fuck. So they cry. So soothe them, pick them up, and follow your instinct. Follow your instincts. Go inside, and if your instincts is saying pick that baby up, you pick that baby up. Okay. A lot of parents are now co-sleeping with their babies. That means that you share the bed with your baby. They also, if you don't want to share the actual bed, the baby can be kind of like off to the side and something that connects to the bed, and so that you, when you want to breastfeed or you want to carry him or he's crying, it's easy transition for you to pick him up. Okay. So eye contact, and remember to nurture yourself. Your energy feeds your baby. Your energy feeds your baby. If you're not regulated, the baby's not regulated. There are scientific studies that say that colic babies is bullshit. It's not colic. Is that the mom is not regulated, and neither is the dad, or one, or vice versa, whatever. And so the baby is exhibiting what's going on around him, because the baby is all energy, all emotion, all vibration. So now imagine if that's the world that you live in, because you don't know how to do anything else. You don't know how to talk. You don't know how to walk. You don't know how to grab things. You don't know how to make things. This is how you survive, by feeding into the energies that are around you. If you, the parents are unregulated, that baby will cry a lot, and we call it colic. There's no such thing. It's unregulation of emotion. Okay, so it's a lot. um I know that breastfeeding is going to be a whole other thing. If you want a video on just breastfeeding, I am not a breastfeeding consultant, but I can give you all the information that I have. To me, breastfeeding is very simple. It's something that comes naturally. So the baby latches on. It may take the baby, let me get this down. It may take the babies a few try to latch on, and that's okay. But the baby latches on, and we know that the baby is latched on once this is the nipple. Once he puts the mouth in the nipple and the cheeks go like this. Mm-hmm. You see that motion? That's when you know the baby's latching, and you're also going to feel it on the nipple that the baby's latching. Now, in the beginning, when you are breastfeeding, there is a calibration that your body's going through because every time the baby breastfeed is kind of calibrating the breast milk so that your body knows how much breast milk to produce per feeding. Isn't that great? So we have to allow time for that calibration. And in the beginning, it's normal for the baby to lose weight, right? Because of the calibration, okay? So if the baby's born at 5 point, let's say like my other birth, 5.8 pounds, after 2 days, the baby may lose weight. And then after a week or a week and a half after breastfeeding, the baby will start to increase weight, okay? Because of the calibration of the milk. In the beginning, the colostrum is what's coming out of your breast. And then after the colostrum is expressed, the breast milk will come through. Um, what else can I tell you? Some women use nipple shields to breastfeed. This is completely up to you. The only thing that with the nipple shield, you have a shield between the nipple and the baby's lips, and the baby's lips and the sucking motion and the tongue on the nipple is what helps to produce the milk and helps the lymphatic system and the lymph nodes in the boobs to express the milk. So if we put a shield on the nipple, you are blocking that contact between the saliva, the lips, and the tongue, and the cheeks, and the nipple. So personally, I won't suggest a nipple shield, but everyone's different. And this is your baby, so you breastfeed how you please. All right, so I think we've come to the end of the video. Let me know if you want me to make the video with the indigenous technologies for healing in the postpartum. I would be more than happy to do that. And if you want a video for breastfeeding, okay? Yep, love you guys. Bye.